Good evening. Welcome to the meeting of the Sandwich Historic District Committee on June 8th. My name is Peter Williams and I'm the chairman of the committee. In reviewing the applications, the committee will consider, among other things, the historical value and significance of the building, the general design, arrangement, texture, material, and color of the features, and the relation of such features to buildings and structures in the immediate surroundings. This meeting is streamed on SCTV website and on local channel 9. It is being recorded and will be available on the SCTV website starting tomorrow. The name of this committee is Sandwich Historic District Committee, but that can be considered a misnomer at times. Our primary mission is the protection of our historic structures, but we also serve as an architectural review board in the historic district. So if your home is not historic, you are here as part of our architectural review board function. Also, while we may move swiftly through the calendar, please be assured that we have reviewed all the applications carefully. Applications will be heard in the order of the published agenda, followed by continued applications. Anyone aggrieved by a decision of this committee may, within 10 days, appeal the decision to the Regional Commission by obtaining a form from the Planning Department in the new town hall. And incidentally, that's 10 calendar days that you have to appeal. Ralph Fatacchio is here tonight recording the meeting for us, and I will now take the role of the committee members.
Mike Sullivan, here.
Pat Hallahan,
Yeah.
Diane DeLeo,
Yeah.
Corinne Ridd.
Here.
And there's 5 of us,
Everybody votes.
so we'll all be voting. Diane, would you make the motions?
Certainly.
Pat, would you second them?
Sure.
Thank you. The first application for a certificate of appropriateness is 24-119 Paul Rendon for solar panels on Dillingham Avenue. Would you please step up? Right over here, I'm sorry. That's just for decorative purposes.
How you doing?
Good. So tell us about your solar panels.
I think the Boston Solar sent you the information. There it is. Yeah, so, and they also sent some pictures of what it would look like from the street view from Dillingham and from Wood Avenue. So, in my opinion, it's not obtrusive. And where the junction boxes will go, they'll be adjacent to what's already existing, so. And Ralph, I don't know if you have the pictures of this
You want to go up, Ralph?
street view?
With some pictures.
Ralph, can we see the pictures? Okay.
Give me one moment and I will make sure we get this going for you. There we go. Okay, so hold.
It should be the other way, Ralph.
Right.
Yeah, that helps.
Very good.
That's fine.
Anyone? Any questions from the public? Comments? We'll have a motion, Diane.
Okay, I move to accept number 24-119 as presented.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Next application, 24-120, Ronald Nurse, a new building at 21 Quiet Street.
Hello.
Good.
Hello.
My name is Michael Pierce of Pierce Building Company, so I would represent the contractor to do the build, and
Could you speak a little bit more in the mic?
Michael Pierce, Pierce Building Company.
Pull that towards you.
Pull it down too, yeah. Yeah.
I would be representing the builder and owner. Once a building permit is issued, I would then close on the lot, and Ronald Nurse would not be the current owner.
So can we go back to that last one? Yeah,
Those are just examples.
so those are examples of what the front door is going to look like?
Basically examples of what the siding, similarities in the columns, the trim, the windows, and yes, that's a
The door is not going to have the side panels when we go down further, is that correct?
correct.
Okay. Quite a house,
Big.
Thank you.
How many square feet is it at the foundation?
41, oh, at the foundation, yeah.
At the foundation, it is about 4,125.
Foundation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just the foundation is about 2,200 approximately.
Okay.
On what size lot? A half acre?
.7.
0.7.
Any other comments?
Oh,
Very nice.
Questions or comments from the public? We'll have a motion, Diane.
I move to accept item 24-120 as presented.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. The next is a continued certificate of appropriateness, 24-096, Stephen Potts.
Not here.
Is someone here for the continued application for 298 Route 6A? We'll save that till the end of the meeting. Committee discussion, the next item is submission of an open letter to the Hamlet Historic District Commission by abutters, committee by abutters of heritage, and discuss the potential response. Who is here to make its presentation? Please step up.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Aye.
My name is Carlo Di Persio, and I live at 11 Morgan Trail. And today, our question is extremely simple. Has this committee issued a certificate of appropriateness to anybody to build an aerial adventure park course on map 37, lot 1 being 0 Pocasset Road, or map 37, lot 2 being 0 Sham Road? Has there ever been a COA issued by this committee for that construction, or has there ever been a review of a revision to any existing COA? And I'll help you out by telling you there's only been 4 COAs in the history of the world on those 3 properties.
Ralph,
Yes, sir.
you answer that?
I think, so the original, just to give a brief history, the original COA, as Mr. DePercio pointed out, was issued to 67 Grove, map 37, lot number 6. The town and as does the Old Kings Highway Commission, takes the contention that actually stands, that certificate of appropriateness. As it was pointed out in the Superior Court ruling from several years ago, that the abutters had an opportunity to challenge that, which they did not take the opportunity to do. In 2019, the Heritage was issued a special permit to conduct a small scale recreation use, and then as a result of that, Heritage came in and they issued for two certificates of two certificates of appropriateness for 37 lots 1 and 2. One was for one was for the demo and rebuild of the yurts, to move the yurts back, and then the second one was to reconfigure the aerial adventure park to the specifications spelled out in the special permit.
Can I respond?
Just 1 second, Carl. Was that appealed?
That was appealed at the time in 2019. It was appealed to the Old Kings Highway Commission, and the decisions of the Sandwich Old Kings Highway Committee were upheld.
Did it go to court?
The special permit went to court, and the special permit was upheld.
Yeah, but
These were not challenged in court.
The HDC issues did not go to appeal.
Correct.
Okay. First of all, the first COA that was issued in 2014, it was number 14-43. That COA was ruled in court by a Superior Court judge during that appeal that Mr. Vitaco spoke of to be incorrect. He ruled it to be incorrect in his finding of facts. The reason it was incorrect is because it was for lots 1 and 2, and the judge said, no, it's for lot number 6. And by issuing it, they avoided...
Carl, what year was that?
2014.
The decision you're talking about?
The decision was on the 18th of August, 2018.
Thank you.
Exactly. And at that decision, and I can give you the results in black and white, when the judge said, this is incorrect, and he's right. And here's why he said it was incorrect. He said it was incorrect, and these are his words, because the abutters to lots 1 and 2 were never notified. They never had an opportunity to speak. To this day, they've never had an opportunity to speak. And he said, for that reason, that COA is incorrect. Therefore, I don't see how it can be used without being incorrect today. Number one. Number two, in 2019, there was a special permit issued by the zoning board. The judge said they did all the right things. However, she said, the aerial adventure park is a singular structure. She said that in pure words. That singular structure is 2 acres. The criteria to put in that small-scale facility is 500 square feet. Now, if you can get 2 acres inside the 500 square feet, have at it. But you can't. Number two, no certificate of appropriateness was issued to build an area. It wasn't, as Mr. Vitaco just said, to reconfigure. No way. Number one, it was to demolish a yurt. Number two, it was to rebuild that yurt. Number three was to move 16 elements back from Sham Road. That's it. There was nothing about the other 43, 46 elements in building that park. And I sat face to face with the building commissioner after that first building permit was annulled because it was for the wrong lot. That was the first case. And in that sitting, the building commissioner said to me, as far as I'm concerned, there is nothing there. They have to go through the whole process. Nobody has gotten a certificate of appropriateness from you to build an aerial adventure park on lots 1 and 2. That's an absolute fact. In fact, in your package, you're going to find a plot plan. The plan is called an as-built plan, which is wrong. It should say as-built certified plan. On it, you'll find it's been certified by an engineer. An as-built plan is supposed to say, hey, Mr. Building Inspector, I built it in exactly the right spot. But if you look at that plot plan, you won't find a single lot identified. Not lot 1, not lot 2, and not lot 6. I looked at it for 20, 30 days. Number 1. Number 2, an as-built plot plan requires that it show the accurate borders of the lots. There are no borders shown, period. And you're supposed to dimension from the new constructed facility to the border to tell you where the new construction sits. If you look at that certified as-built plan, you will never be able to tell me how close it is to the border between lots 1 and 2. How close is it to lot 6? Why is it on lots 1 and 2 when it's supposed to be on lot 6? There's been no revision to the original 2014 COA, 1443, not whatsoever. Only you can modify a COA. Only you can issue a COA. Nobody else can do it. On the building permit, it's in that package, you will see where the building commissioner said the project is at 67 Grove Street. There's nothing on 67 Grove Street. And then he says, down the bottom in remarks, includes lots 1 and 2, map 37, 1 and 2. He has no right to do that. Only you have a right to do that. He can't take over your job. If he could do that, every single COA you hand out from this committee, the building inspector can change it. He can add lots. Can he? That's what he did. Then they get a certificate of occupancy. The certificate of occupancy says that Heritage is allowed to use 67 Grove Street and portions of lots 1 and 2. What do you mean portions? It's not portions. The whole thing is on lots 1 and 2. None of it is on lot number 6. They had a inspection done, a third-party inspection, which is required, for 67 Grove Street. Nothing on lot 6. They then supplied a site plan. The site plan is like the map there, it shows the whole site. And they said to the OPSI, which is the Office of Public Safety and Inspections, who gives out the license, and they said to the people who give out that license, that entire facility is on lot 6. Why would they do that? Because their building permits for lot 6. Why would they do that? Because their COA was for lot 6. Why would they do that? Because they advertised lot 6 on April 11, 2014. And I sat in my living room. My wife told me about the exhibit that Heritage is going to put up there. And I said, what does it say? It says Aerial Adventure Park. And I swear on my grandchildren, that I said to her, that's great. I bet they're going to put some of those antique planes like the Red Baron flew in the First World War to match up with antique cars. That's what I thought. And it was 30 days later that I found it was zip lines and a challenge course. That's when I found out. And I walked into this committee at that time, all different people, And I said, hey, we should have something to say about that. They said to me these words, either you go away or we'll go away because you only had 10 days. How did we know? We didn't know in 10 days. Nobody told us. We read about it in the paper. Tough luck. You go or we go. And we appealed that to the zoning board. We said this building permit and the COA is for the wrong lot. And the special permit board, the zoning board. The zoning board said, we've had that before, let's move on. The wrong lot, a building permit for the wrong lot. We've had that before, let's move on. Then somebody on the zoning board said, am I going too long? If you study those things, you're going to find out every single thing they did was to trick us into not having a chance to speak. This is the first time ever, except for 5 minutes in front of I'm getting a Biden here. 5 minutes in front of the
Board of Selectmen.
Board of Selectmen. That's it. So we've been going there for the 5 minutes. But today I'm sitting here for the first time in 10 years to tell you that there's no COA for lots 1 and 2, that they actually knew that when they built the entire structure on lot 1 and 2. They knew it. And the judge knew it. The first judge. And the second judge wasn't judging whether they could have it or not. She was judging whether the zoning board went through the right procedure, and she said they did. But she added, and I don't know if she meant to do this on purpose, she added, the entire structure is described as a singular structure. And if we stick to her, and that's carved in concrete, you can't change that. The only way you can change what a Superior Court judge said is by appealing it. And guess what? They didn't appeal anything. So I'm telling you this is, look at it this way. Why are a few of us fighting for 10 years? Because we're right. Something is messed up. Somebody is trying to tell you that they had the right, they said they had all the correct documentation. When they mailed their application, I got the whole through the Freedom of Information, I got the whole application that they put into the state for a license to operate. I'm telling you that license to operate is bad. If I was sitting on this board, I'd say I knew nothing about any COA or any revision to any COA. Thank you very much. I'd take it to Taylor. I'd say stamp this in. Because someday, it's very, very rare that my grandchild or yours is the one to get hurt up there. But they put 94,000 kids through there in the 4 years. Somebody will be hurt. It happens on every one of these. When that happens, and the Morgan & Morgan lawyers show up, and you get subpoenaed because you knew about this, and you didn't at least say, all I want from this committee, one thing, just say, I personally, each one of you, never sat in any meeting and know of no COA for lots 1 and 2 on map 37. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else in life. Just say that you did, because we'll take that and we'll say, okay, they said to us, and this kills me, they said to us, all our lawyers have crossed all the T's and dotted the I's. Fine, give me a copy. Give me a copy of what they dotted. I'm sorry I'm so emotional about this, but let me tell you, I've been working on it for 10 years, day and night. And I just think it's wrong. It's morally wrong. That's what I don't even know how much it'll bother us with the traffic. but it's morally wrong, and I'm so sick of hearing morally wrong things in this country. We got to do something right. Somebody has to stand up and say, this is wrong, let's do it right. Thank you very much. You've certainly been patient with me. You gave me more time than anybody ever gave me. Thank you. God bless you, because I know what you guys are. You don't get paid, you're volunteers, you're elected, and you do your best to keep this town looking nice, and you do a good job of it. And this is the one board we're hopeful for. We're hopeful that you'll help us out. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ralph,
Yes, sir.
any comments on that?
Just to the board that I believe the Board of Selectmen will be addressing these issues at their meeting on Thursday to go over pretty much everything what Mr. DiPerzio has brought up this evening. As you saw in your packet, the building commissioner's response and how it all the opportunities to sort of make these challenges have passed. We looked at it and we see that as far as we reviewed everything, we believe that the permits in place are indeed correct.
The Historic District Committee basically acts on the items that are brought before us. Under the act that created the Historic District Committee, the sole enforcement power rests with the building commissioner. He's the one who determines whether or not there should be a COA applied for. He's the one who determines that the building permit was in compliance. He's the one responsible for accepting the as-built drawing. We, as a committee, I don't believe, have the power to initiate anything.
We never have.
No.
To the best of my knowledge, we never have initiated. We've listened to complaints, but when we hear them, we go to the proper authority to say, tell us the story. That would be the building commissioner. He's our enforcement arm. As you know, I've been very sympathetic to your cause. And for all appearances, pretty much everything was done wrong in the beginning. I understand that. But I also understand, and I'll just say this really briefly, I also understand that we were not a party to the appeal decision in 2018. I wasn't on this committee. Actually, no one here was on the committee. And these issues, I would assume, could have been or should have been brought up in 2019 with the amended certificate, or the second certificate. But I don't know how the committee feels. I would have no problem saying, okay, we should look at it again. Mm-hmm. And let's make sure. I mean, you people had a valid complaint. And I, for one, would be glad to try to look at it and come back and tell you. But I don't think your relief is from this committee. I could be wrong. But I've said that to you before, Carl. Yes. I just don't, and I'm on your side. I spoke up for you at the selectmen.
You're right, sir. There's no relief that you can say.
I hate to interrupt for one moment, but Carlo, if you have to speak into a microphone. If hold on, I'll get you this one so you don't have to get up and down.
Does it work?
No, it doesn't usually.
It does.
Any problem? Look.
Thank you, Ralph.
Okay.
I just don't know.
I think you're right.
Okay.
I think you're right. You can't take an action, but you can say there's never been a COA. And when we talk about going to court, we went to court. We spent $166,000 in legal fees to go to the court the first time when the judge said, this COA is no good. Imagine that. He said that.
We understand that, Carl.
Yeah. And the second time around wasn't for a COA. It was for whether the zoning board acted properly in allowing a small-scale thing. But let me say this very clearly. When I brought out the COA and the building permit in the zoning board hearing that lasted 3 nights, I was shut right down on this basis. Mr. Neven said to me, Carlo, we have nothing to do with building permits, or COAs, or any of that stuff. That's what he said to me. Those were his words. I got it on tape.
We heard you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm just an emotional Italian.
I'd make a motion that if I'm asking as a question, I can make a motion that we put it over to look at it. But that would be going to the building department and saying, give us a full explanation of where we stand. That sound reasonable or no?
Sure.
I'm okay with it.
I'll make the motion. All right, I'll make a motion that we take this matter under consideration to the extent of going back to the enforcement authority, the building department, the building commissioner, and asking him to explain directly or through Ralph, in writing or otherwise, exactly where the town and our committee should stand on your issues. That is my motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay?
May I make a comment?
Sure.
Hello. Hi. I am Richard Harris. I live at opposite to Carlo, and Carlo and I trade war stories, and we try to be good citizens, and we've been involved in a lot of things, this being one which we felt very important. I just want to make sure that there's no mistaking the authority that you folks have. I'm a little disgruntled, Mr. Williams. Wherever we're talking about responsibility, we are talking about the responsibility in your bulletin, nobody else's. No opinion by a lawyer, no opinion even by someone outside of the town when it's a town issue. You are elected folks. You have all the authority to make your absolute decision here, and nobody, and it's even stated in your document and in other documents of the town, that when you're making a decision on certificates of appropriateness, only you and only you folks can do it. I just want to make it clear because it's been muddied, the waters have been muddied from day one when someone puts down an aerial exhibit as a discussion point to start with. I mean, there's a lot of other ways to describe what was brought to the case, but if you were sitting around when that was announced, I submit to you, you had to think it was another thing in keeping with the circular barn, the Revolutionary War activities we had going on there, a Ferris wheel. We all kind of know what to expect from a museum. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, but don't let anyone, please, to tell you that they have looked at what's taken place here, and they're the ones that have the final say. They don't have the final say.
I'm sorry, sir, can I get your name again? Your name again, please.
Richard Harris.
Richard Harris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dick.
Thank you.
Next item.
Any comments from the public?
We've already moved.
Pardon me?
We've already moved. Next topic.
Yes.
Did the other one show up? The one that wasn't here?
Pardon me?
Did the other one show up? The one that wasn't here?
No, I guess not. Review of the town response recommended for draft procedures when an applicant seeks to demolish a historic structure.
Yeah, these are out of order, I think, a little bit, but the bottom part of the pile is the town's response. This has been going on for 2.5, 3 years. And what I did is, Ralph wrote a proposal, Ralph and Leanne, that was given to us. I added, changed, amended. It was approved by this committee. It then went back to the town, and Ms. Harper came with her submission, which is, as I said, on the bottom of the pile, not a barrel. And I again commented on it, and I'll just briefly explain my comments because I don't expect anybody to do anything tonight. The first change from Ms. Heather's submission was I added back the language explaining the purpose of this procedure, which language came from Alf and Leanne's version. And I didn't understand why it was deleted, but what it was put into another document, where it fits too, so I would think it could be in both. But that's where that came from. I didn't write this, Ralph and Leanne did. Second change is I just added the word, because I left Heather Harper's statement of the purpose in it, so I just put the word also in. And then on the second page, to try to make it clear, because I didn't think it was, I added into the definition of the Old Kings Highway Regional Historic District the fact that that is, in the town of Sandwich, all land north of Route 6, the district. And if I look at this quickly, yeah, okay. And then the other thing is this was the major change from what Ralph and Leanne did and what I did. And that is they put in the statute into the proposal. And I highlighted in blue something I should have emphasized before, because this is the document, this is the statute where the town council has stated that Mr. Sullivan was correct. There were 3 options, but he didn't like option number 2, because he said it was subsumed into option number 3, and of course, you can't do that with the statute. You can't start taking things out because they don't fit your thought. But immediately after that, in the statute, is the phrase, or to make it secure if it is unused, uninhabited, and abandoned and open to the weather.
Right.
Well, that would apply.
Right.
That would have applied to 18 State Street. That would have applied to 13 Church Street. So one of these days, we're going to get around to getting an understanding between us and the town and the statute as to what is permitted in those situations, those 2 situations, which were the reason we got into this dispute.
Yeah, and the fact, when that's not in there, that's how they get around demolishing it.
Yeah,
It's not
but
safe, yeah.
here, those 2 buildings, the expert advice on 18 State Street, the expert advice was it could be saved. I don't think we ever got expert advice on 13 Church Street because it was knocked down.
No, you got the fire chief in there that said that it wasn't safe, I thought, on one of them.
He advised. No, he advised.
Yeah,
as did the chair of this committee.
okay.
That was after the owner had gone in and made
Oh,
it unsafe.
made it unsafe, absolutely.
Right, and that could have, and it could well have been unsafe, but it could have been made secure.
Yeah,
And that's the issue. And then if he wanted to demolish, he would come to us
yeah.
and say, here it is, can I demolish?
Well, the thing is, if somebody was renting it a couple of months before it became,
No, that's the other one.
that was Church Street.
Oh, that was Harbor. Church Street had not been occupied for a period of years,
Sorry.
and it was bought in bankruptcy. But in Harbor Street, which never got
Oh, Harbor, yeah.
the order, 6 Harbor, I think, it is, never got the order to demolish.
Yeah.
That was the one that was occupied to 3 or 4 months before, but it was still unoccupied.
Yeah.
So, at any rate, I think I'll try to be, with this committee and with the town, I'm going to try to emphasize the part that I put in bold.
Right.
And the last changes I made, suggested changes, I have no power to change anything. Oh, yeah. I thought that the enforcement and remedies had nothing to do with emergency demolition, so I put it in that way. And you have to get a demolition permit. If you want to knock a building down, you get a demolition permit, and you got to get a certificate of demolition removal from us.
Right.
I'm going to ask Ralph a question, because this thing is put on planning and development letterhead and has fairly serious fines. Do you have the power? Do we have the power to do that?
The state statute allows, sets the fines. So we can fine.
How does a particular fine get set if somebody is found to be in violation?
That would be the determination of the building commissioner.
And then these are fines that are levied daily based on,
As daily, it says 1 to 500.
Typically, fines against zoning would be every day that the violation is in place, you can be fined.
got it.
Well, I will go through that with Ralph before I come back and see what we can agree to send back to the town. That'll probably be in August, because I will not be able to be at present course, I won't be able to be at the next meeting. But I will do that if everybody thinks that's okay.
Yeah.
Please.
All right.
Thank you.
I'd like to just go back to this heritage thing, because when I read through this,
I'm not sure we can.
well, that's why I'm putting it in public. I'm trying to understand how I would, because as you said, none of us were here, and if I read through it, I'm going to have questions, so who do I go to?
Ralph.
Ralph?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're done with the issue.
Huh?
We're done with the issue, and the audience left.
Oh, yeah,
We're not supposed to go back.
I'm sorry,
No, it's all right, but it's just,
They do it in town meetings, but
yeah.
some people watch these things to find that there are errors.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to do due diligence before it comes up again.
That's good.
anything else? Anyone else? And I
Yeah,
think
I
we,
just have a question. Enforcement
yes.
here. So the bottom line says, until a faithful restoration of the demolished building is completed, or unless otherwise agreed to by the committee. Is that this committee?
Yes.
And
That's the building commission. And then this is the historic committee. They may have used the word inappropriately, I don't know. But the commission for us is the Old Kings Highway.
so this committee is not in a position to negotiate the restoration.
Yeah, so it is this committee, the word's committee, yes.
Okay.
But the first page has it defined as the Sandwich Old Kings Highway.
That's actually one of the sticking points, I believe. That we have to agree to it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Could we have a motion to adjourn?
We need minutes.
You have to approve the
Oh.
minutes.
So disappointing.
Yeah, we have 2 sets of minutes, revised minutes for
Any
January.
comments about the minutes?
No.
Any suggested corrections?
No.
And
No.
why don't we have a motion to approve them?
I move to accept the minutes of the June 24, 2024 meeting as presented.
January 8, revised.
Oh,